Ever find yourself with unfinished Minecraft projects? Who hasn't, right? We've all hit that wall where motivation fades and boredom sets in. But you know, there's nothing quite like the satisfaction of completing a build and moving on to something new. So in this video, I'll tackle my own incomplete projects and share the practical tips I use to help you push through the boredom. So fire up that Minecraft world and get into that build that you've been putting off for too long, and let's make some progress together. This season of Arcadia, I set out to build a D&D style one-shot adventure for my friends on this server. It all started with finding a relic called the Crystal Heart hidden deep within a collapsed dwarven mine, which then led the players to a nearby town where they'd need help decoding runes that are inscripted on it. But the only person who can read the runes won't help them until they've proven that they're trustworthy, by completing side quests and building their reputation around the town. Over the last year, this town has just sucked the life out of me, and I'm pretty low on motivation. But I am determined to finish this town and move on to my next great adventure. Since finishing is overwhelming right now, I'm going to start by listing out the things that I want to get done. I'm only going to list the minimum things that I would be satisfied with finishing. And that brings me to my first tip for you guys to get your own project done. List the things that you can do in your world that would make you happy if you finish them. For me, this would look like finishing the smith quest, finishing the flower shop quest, finishing the fishing quest, finishing the temple quest, decorating the wizard's house, and building a villager breeder. Now that I have the projects that I want to finish, tip 2 is to break down each item into the steps to be able to finish that project or projects. Having a plan will help make tasks easier to finish and give you a direction of which way to go. If you don't know which task to start with first, you can always do what I'm gonna do and roll a dice. So for me, I have 6 things that I want to finish, so I'll roll a d6. This wouldn't be a D&D Minecraft channel if I didn't do any dice rolling, now would it? Alright, so let's see which task I'm gonna be tackling first. Number 1, that is the smith quest. So I have my redstone boxes ready to go. So let's get started.
Greetings, traveler.
Forge Master extends a soot-ridden hand to greet you.
Sorry, forge is closed today. I'm in desperate need of some magma creams to bring it back up to temperature. I would make the trip to the nether myself, but I'm not as agile as I once was. You able to help me? I need you to bring back 10 magma creams. That should be able to get the forge up and running.
Alright, so how this works is we have the barrel above this hopper here. So when you put in the magma creams, it goes down this line and then it hits a filter here. And so it'll filter out the magma creams, and it is set to only have, let me see here. Yes, it'll only count 10 of the magma creams. And if there are 10 magma creams that have been deposited, there is a, where's that chest? Yes, right here. There's a chest out here that will drop 1 reputation point, and then the extra magma creams will go in here. All right, so how this works is players will come up, they'll see the lectern here, and the book describes the quest and what is required to complete the quest and the reward. So players need to go out into the nether and collect 10 magma creams to refuel the forge, and they will come back from the nether, and with their magma creams they will drop it into this barrel, only 10 at a time, otherwise the system will get clogged and bad things happen, and I don't want to deal with that. And then once the magma creams have gone through the redstone system, a reputation point will deposit into this chest right here. So we are done. We are done with this quest. Mark it off the book. All right, let's go roll the dice and see what our next task is. A 3. Which one is that? That is the fishing quest. I'm actually really excited for this one. I will tackle that one after I go to bed. This is the quest that I want to have people come in with their fishing rod, or I'll have fishing rods set up, and they have to catch so many fish within a certain amount of time. I don't know what that time frame is going to be quite yet. I was originally thinking a minute, but it takes kind of a while to actually hook a fish. So I think I need to time out and see how long a minute actually is here. So I just went ahead and did some extra fishing to see what the maximum number of fish someone could catch in both a 1-minute fishing session and a 2-minute fishing session. After 10 trials of each duration, it looks like for the minute session, the max number of fish I caught was 3. And in the 2-minute session, I got 5. And the only fish that I'm going to include for the fishing session are fish that people can eat in the village, which would be cod or salmon. So based on the number of fish that I caught for each session, I think for this quest, I'm going to have people fish for 2 minutes to try and get 5 fish. I feel like 1 minute was just too short of a time frame, and the 2-minute session felt like it was worth the effort for the reputation point. So with this information, let's get building some redstone stuff. Greetings, traveler! A rugged man with weather-worn hands greets you from a humble fishing hut by the river's edge. Name's Henry, master angler of these parts. None can best me with a rod and line. I can haul in 4 fish in but 2 minutes, like clockwork. 5, though? Ha! That's a feat no fisherman or moorfolk has ever managed. But if you think you've got the skill, or the luck, I'd wager you can't beat my record. So what I got set up here is when people are ready to go fishing, they will hit this button and it'll start this timer as a countdown. So like 3, 2, 1, go. They'll start fishing, and then this is transferring items from this hopper into this hopper, and that's basically my timer. And when there are no more items left in this hopper, a pulse will be sent out, and these bells will ring, and that'll essentially be when people stop fishing, and that'll be like the 2-minute mark. And then they will come over. If they have collected 5 fish, they will deposit the 5 fish into here, which is hooked up down here. So the chests sit under these hoppers. These hoppers will detect if there is either salmon or cod. So it gets passed along this hopper line here, and they're detecting the amount of items that are going through. So if they had sent in the 5 fish from their 1 fishing run, it'll continue on down, count them, and it'll send a pulse for however many items get passed through. And once it is done, there's 5 that went through. This will send a signal up to this dropper, which will deposit in here. Or is it this one? Nope, it is this one. Oh, see, there's the timer for the fishing. It'll deposit a reputation point into here. So I am a person looking to get reputation points in this town, and people will see the lectern and read. So then they'll grab the fishing rod here, and whenever they're ready, they'll hit the button, get into position, and when they hear the go timer, they can start fishing. And they'll fish for about 2 minutes, roughly 2 minutes. It's like two minutes and a couple seconds. Oh, and that's our timer. And I technically only caught 2 viable fish, so this run I wouldn't put it in. But say that I did. Yay, I caught the 5 fish. I am the master fisher. And put your fish into here. And then people would come into the fishing house and receive their 1 reputation point. I can't believe it's working. Everything is working as intended. All right, I love this. This is great. I'm getting more motivated to finish this town here. Okay, so yeah, that is the fishing quest. I need to finish a few things up, and I think we are done, and we can scratch that off the list. Let's go back to the dice roller and see what my next task is. All right, so if we get, let's see, a 1 or a 3, that is a re-roll. So, oh great dice roller, what quest shall I accomplish next? A 2. What's a 2? The flower shop quest. Ooh, all right. All right, so this flower shop quest, this is pretty much half done. I just need to get in here. I believe it's the reputation system. So I could use the same filter system that I have for the fishing quest. I just need to actually like build it and get it in here. So the story behind this is that the flower shop owner has heard of these rare flowers, and they are looking to find them, and they've heard that they are in a cave around here and can only be found by the sniffers. So people will have to go and find this cave, which is up over here, and she is looking to collect, ideally, as many seeds as possible, but she'll give a reputation point if you give her a combination of any 5. Yes, hello, Sniffer. And so they'll have to just kind of wait and sit in the cave Wait for the sniffers to do their thing. This could be very long, or it could be very short. Because the sniffers are taking their sweet time, I may just drop this down to like 2, because this is a little painstakingly long. Then once they have their seeds in hand, they will head back down to the flower shop and deposit the seeds and collect their reputation point. Considering that took an extreme amount of time, I think I might only do one of each. And then if they decide to go back to the cave and get more, they can get more reputation points, because that was painful. All right, let's get this flower shop quest done. Herbologist Myra, the gentle caretaker of the Green Thumb, leans in with a twinkle in her eye. Adventurer, I need your assistance. I've heard of 2 ancient flowers said to only be found with the aid of a creature known as the Sniffer. Rumor has it, a family of these gentle giants dwell in a nearby cavern to the northwest, hidden deep beneath the slopes of the Cherry Grove Hill. Will you aid me and bring back some of these seeds so I can study them? Alright, we have our flower shop quest done. So when they have their seeds, they will come back to the Green Thumb, deposit them into this lovely chest here, and they'll receive their reputation point. And there's nothing extravagant about the redstone. It's the same as the fishing quest, just instead of fish, I have the picture pods, doing the same thing, comparing what's in the hoppers there, coming through, counting them. So we can knock this quest off the list. And I'm halfway done. I am pretty ecstatic. Let's roll our dice and see what we get next. Number 5. What's that? Decorating the wizard house. All right, that'll be a really nice break from everything that I have been doing with the redstone. My brain is pretty much fried with that right now. So decorating the wizard house is a definite breath of fresh air. I originally wanted the... God. Don't break my door. I'm gonna sleep before something bad happens. Ow, ow. All right, here we are, the wizard house. I originally wanted to have this door locked until players came by and dropped in their 5 reputation points. Then they could hit the button, the door would open, and then they could enter. So that's what this mess here is about. But obviously, this needs to be decorated. I do have some of it already done. I have this room done, and then I also need to do up here. This might be his bedroom. Yeah, you need a place to sleep, don't you? I'm sure you're angry that you don't have a bed up here. So down here, we'll probably have a dining area, a little bit of a kitchen over here, and then we'll make this maybe a storage area there. All right, now that I have the plan, let's get building the interior of the wizard's house. Wizard Dorian gestures for you to place the crystal heart on the table. I see you've brought something unusual. He picks up the heart, traces his finger over the runes etched on its surface. This will take some time. It's an ancient elvish script, but I can translate it. Hours pass in silence as Dorian flips through a tome, translating the runes. He finally emerges from his study. The inscriptions speak of immense power. This is not something I've encountered before. He hands you a piece of parchment, and it reads, "The end watches. The end hungers. The end will devour." All right, so the wizard house is done. I have a little storage area in here, making use of the stairs and this little tiny space here. I flipped the barrels around to give it a little bit of a different look to it, so that way it doesn't have the barrel front looking, and maybe hopefully it just looks like a wooden wall there. Got the dinner table over here with some armor stands there. I don't know, this is supposed to be like a little kitchen area sort of thing. And upstairs is kind of the enchanting and brewing and magical part of all of this. Then of course the bedroom area, which he doesn't really like to seem to leave for some reason. I don't know if he's stuck up here or what his deal is, but he goes to this corner all the time and then just stays. So it's simple and cozy, and I opted not to do another level up there just because I liked the openness and how tall this all looked here. All right, let's go roll our next task that needs to get done. I'm getting pretty close here. All right, what do we got here? 4. And that is the temple quest. So pretty much all I have to do with this is get the reputation point system built, and I need to release the zombies down in the catacombs. All right, so let's get over to the temple, see where we're going to put that reputation point system. Oh, you're stuck again, aren't you? All right, so with the temple quest, people will come in and head to this back room. And Stefan is looking for zombie flesh because the dead down in the catacombs have suddenly started to awaken. And Stefan needs the zombie flesh to be able to create elixir to stop the dead from coming back alive. And so then we'll have the lectern explaining the quest up here. And before I get started building the reputation system, let's go down into the catacombs and release those zombies before I forget. And you're free. That's one zombie spawner. And the second. So then people will be able to access the catacombs with the door here, and then to leave, they just have to hit the button. And I dug this area out on a live stream, and I don't think I've actually showed this area off at all, so... Oh, goodness! So we're already crawling with zombies in here, which is great. But here it is, the catacombs. And there's different areas that people can go into and fight the zombies. And all throughout the catacombs, I have little memorials to other Arcadians. And then back here, there's another section. And of course, we have a little loot chest here. Step on the pressure plate. Same concept with the dungeon run that I have. Step on the pressure plate, loot comes out. Same redstone system as that. And so people will just traverse and slay any undead that have come their way and collect the flesh to be able to give to Stefan up in the chapel. And I like how spooky and dark it is. All right, now that I've released the zombies, let's go get that reputation point system all built for this quest. The cool air of the temple offers brief refuge from the muggy heat outside. Cleric Stefan, a devout servant of the great Solomon, steps forward, his voice low but urgent as he says,
For years, the catacombs have been a quiet place of remembrance. But now, the dead stir in their graves, threatening to overrun our village. The ancient wards are failing, and only a sacred elixir can restore them. But this elixir demands the flesh of the risen dead. I beg you, brave soul, descend into the catacombs, gather what I need, and drive back the darkness before all is lost.
So what I got is similar to everything else that I've done for the reputation point system. Have my lectern here that explains the quest. And so when players put in the zombie flesh, the system will take it and drop a reputation point in this barrel. And this quest, I have to say, is now completed. Don't think I need to roll any dice to figure out what my next task is. I've done everything so far except get the villager breeder done. This town is definitely kind of boring without any villagers to inhabit the place. So that is what the villager breeder is for, is to populate this town and make it come alive. I already have all the materials I need to get this villager breeder going. So let's not waste any time and let's get building. As you can see, the villager breeder is working very well, and we have our village security system in full force here. And these guys are just, they're enjoying the village so much. Although I can't get them to stop standing on things, that's the only problem. But there's nothing too extravagant with how this system works. It's very basic. I have all of my beds that the villagers are ever gonna need in all the houses, and then down here is where all the magic happens, so to speak. Yeah, there's nothing special about this. I just have 2 villagers down here collecting food, handing it to each other, and then that's not how that's supposed to work. Can you not? There you go. Nothing extravagant. The villagers are just down here chilling, handing food back and forth to each other. And then they have a baby villager, and the baby villager gets sent along this water stream, splish splashing, having a good time. And then we'll go into the bubble vader and get shot up into this area here. We're gonna close that before something bad happens again. And then the kids run and find the beds, and then they all grow up and head out and just kind of do their own thing. I do have to say, this place feels a lot more alive now that we have villagers. There are a lot of fishermen, but that's okay. That's okay. This is a fishing town anyway. So I think that is everything on my list that I wanted to accomplish. Oh, there's one more thing we gotta do. I gotta give this town an actual name. I've been calling it D&D Town for the past, I don't know, 6 months, and we can't keep doing that anymore. That's just not acceptable. So, from this day forward, this town shall be known as Valley Brook. Oh, I love it. I figured it would be a perfect name considering that it's kind of sort of in a valley. And we got the river running through here that at one point started off as a brook and has now widened into a river. And I think it fits the town perfectly. So, with all of my quests completed, I think, gosh, this is I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think the town is done. I don't have any more things to do in here. I can't believe this is my last time here. Season 3 of Arcadia has already started. This is just the world download that I was on. I couldn't put this chapter of Arcadia to rest until I had completed all of the quests. And with all the quests done, I'm feeling kind of sentimental. I'm a little lost for words here. I've decided not to continue on with Season 3 of Arcadia because I wanted to kind of get back to doing my own thing for a while, and being on a server right now is not the pace that I would like to go at. I wanted to kind of start a forever world. That sounds like a whole lot of fun. I have a lot of plans going forward, especially with D&D things. So thank you guys so much for coming on this journey with me and enjoying Arcadia. And here's to new adventures, and I will catch you all in the next one. See you later.